I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best shooting guards right now in the NBA. At number 10, we do have RJ Barrett from the Toronto Raptors. I think RJ's looked amazing to start this year for Toronto. Yes, he's playing on a very weak team in the Eastern Conference, and especially a Raptors team without Scotty Barnes, their best player. He's been asked to do a lot more offensively, and I think RJ's done a great job of stepping up to the table and really performing at a high level. I think he's deserving of a top 10 shooting guard position. He's averaging almost 24 points a game and is also very versatile, giving you 6 assists and 6 rebounds per night. So those are very solid stats, but I think RJ is an amazing slasher. He's one of the more athletic shooting guards in the entire NBA. He's got good size, a good frame, and I think that allows him to play some very solid defense. So I like RJ Barrett as an all-around shooting guard, and I think number 10 is a very fair spot for RJ. Now at number 9, we do have Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls, and I feel like LaVine has always hovered around that top 10-ish range when we're talking about shooting guards in the NBA. He had a really bad year last year though, putting under 20 points per game. His efficiency really wasn't there, only shooting 35% from 3. But this year, now Zach LaVine is scoring over 22 points a night, and he's shooting the ball very efficiently. He's shooting 43% from 3 on over 7 attempts per night. So Zach LaVine is looking a lot more efficient than he has in past years. Even his field goal percentage is up over 50%. So Zach LaVine is by no means a top shooting guard in the NBA anymore, right? He used to be putting up 25, 27 points per night. I don't think we're going to be seeing that from Zach LaVine, even on a weaker Chicago Bulls team. Now, at number 8 is actually a guy that I'm very shocked to see as a top 10 shooting guard in the year 2024, and that's going to be Norm Powell from the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, we're looking at a guy that could really be in real talks for most improved player. He went from last year on the Clippers still, in more of a bench role and more of a backup, come and just score the ball role, putting up only 14 points per game, but very efficiently. Like, Norm Powell's always been a very efficient three-point shooter. On his career, he shoots 40% from 3, and it's something that's not talked about when we're talking about the best shooters in the NBA. But this year, Norm Powell's gone from 14 points all the way up to 24 points. So he's gone up a jump of over 10 points compared to last year, while also shooting way better than last year, which is crazy to say because last year he shot 43% from 3. He is now shooting almost upwards of 50% from 3. At number 7, here we do have Tyler Herro from the Miami Heat, and I'm a huge Tyler Herro believer. I've always been a big fan of his, and I think he's honestly had a huge jump compared to last year. Even though the numbers don't say, a huge jump compared to last year, I still like Tyler Herro's play, but I'm really liking the improvements offensively all around with just his playmaking and his screen navigation on offense. I feel like he's been asked to do a lot more of a point guard role this year, even though he plays shooting guard. He's able to really score around screens now, where I feel like in past years, he's just sort of been that catch it off the dribble, shoot a 3 type of player. I'm really liking the the off the dribble development from Tyler Herro this season, something that's not talked about that much in the NBA. It's just the improvement of Tyler Herro's game offensively. Number 6 is going to be Derek White from the Boston Celtics. I feel like is one of the more all-around shooting guards in the NBA, a guy that can really do everything and is probably one of the better glue guys in the entire NBA. He was a huge factor for the Boston Celtics' success last year, obviously winning the NBA championship. His numbers don't look great by any means. I mean, 18 points is solid, and he's putting up, 4.5 assists and about 5 rebounds per game. By no means does that look like a top 6 shooting guard right now, but just the efficiency I like from Derek White offensively, 42% from 3 on about 9 attempts per game. But compared to all of the shooting guards we've talked about in this top 10, none of them I would say are elite defenders, and that's what you get with a guy in Derek White. I mean, he is such a versatile defender. He can guard those point guards and guard those quick, shifty guards, but he's also, I feel like, got that size and frame, where he can kind of step up and guard those shooting guards, small forwards, and those wings. Now, getting into my top 5 shooting guards right now in the NBA. At number 5, we do have Kyrie Irving from the Dallas Mavericks. And I feel like Kyrie is one of the more fun and exciting players to watch right now in basketball. I mean, he's just so shifty on the offensive end. And the layups and the finishes this guy has are just unworldly and so exciting and so fun to watch. His stats are really good this year as well, 25 points per game. He's giving you over 5.5 assists, and his efficiency is really good from three. We haven't seen Kyrie Irving ever shoot the ball this well from beyond the arc, and that's over 46%. And even his field goal percentage is over 50%, which he's pretty much never done in his entire career. So you like the efficiency from Kyrie, and he's done a great job with Luka Doncic, who's been injured over the past week or two. Now, Luka did just come back in the Mavs last game against Portland, and Kyrie was injured. So Kyrie's dealt with a little bit of injuries over the season, but without Luka Doncic, I believe the Mavs were 4-1 with just Kyrie Irving, and they beat Denver without Luka, and that was a huge part to Kyrie. So I feel like he's had a bigger role on the Mavs this year. The fourth best shooting guard in the NBA, in my opinion, is going to be Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics. We got two Celtics on this list, but I feel like Jaylen Brown, even though he's listed at small forward and starts the games for the Celtics at small forward, still does a lot of the shooting guard jobs and role on the offensive end. And I feel like he's very versatile. He can play a 2 or a 3, and I'm going to include him as a shooting guard. And I do think he's top 4. He is such an extremely athletic player. Like, he is probably one of the best athletes in the entire NBA. I mean, if you look at the guy's arms and shoulders, he is massive while still being able to be extremely explosive and quick at going to the rim. He's one of the best slashers we've talked about in this top 10 so far, and his numbers are good. 25 points per game. He's giving you 6 boards, 4 assists. At number 3, we do have Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns. And to me, I feel like it's just because Devin Booker is having a slower start to this season compared to the top 2 guys we'll talk about here in a second. But it's still Devin bleeping Booker, man. Like, he is still one of the best scorers in the entire NBA. He can score on any single level, and he is a lethal three-point shooter. But just like Jaylen Brown, his three-point percentage isn't there this year. He's only shooting 34.5% from 3 on over 7.5 attempts per game. So not what you want to see from Devin Booker, who definitely relies on that jump shot a ton. At number 2 here, we do have Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 18-3 as I'm recording this video. And I feel like I'm taking that a bit into factor when we're talking about the top 10 shooting guards, is definitely team strength and team success. We're talking about Donovan Mitchell, who's the superstar of that team and has led them to has led them to the best record in the NBA right now. I really value Donovan Mitchell's defense as well as being an electric scorer. He's averaging 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, but compared to also guys like Jaylen Brown and Devin Booker, who aren't shooting the ball from 3 well this season, Donovan Mitchell has been consistent, 40% from 3. Now at number 1, the best shooting guard in the NBA to me is Anthony Edwards, or more known as Ant-Man from the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's the most scoring. He's got the most points per game that we've talked about in this top 10. He's averaging almost 28 points per night. And the thing about Anthony Edwards is we know him as this crazy athlete. He has some of the best dunk highlights in the NBA and is such a good slasher. But would you believe me if I told you Anthony Edwards is taking almost 11 threes per game while shooting at 43%? You probably wouldn't believe me, but go look it up. That's what this man is shooting from 3. He is playing one of the more efficient shooting guards in the entire NBA while still scoring 28 points. And he's another really good defender, just like Jaylen Brown. He gives you the athleticism, that lockdown defense. To me, guys, those are the top 10 shooting guards right now in the NBA. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my top 10? And I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.